Hello, my name is Scott Allen, and I thank you for taking the time to watch my mock English lesson for SDA Language School in South Korea. First, a little about myself. I have a degree in history from the University of Chicago, and as part of that degree, I learned to read and write extensively at a high level as well as make presentations. And I'm currently taking a 150-hour TEFL course with the Global Leadership College. I hope that this will make me more skilled at teaching English as a foreign language. In the past, I've also worked extensively with children due to my mother running a daycare center in her home while I was growing up, and this involved my creating and teaching a lot of activities to children to kind of help them improve their language skills and basically just learn to be more creative. And so I hope that these skills will translate effectively to the classroom and that I can be a benefit to your organization. I eagerly look forward to working and teaching in Korea and hope to learn a great deal while I am there as well. In this video, I'll be teaching from the Wise Master Junior book, section 4, pages 59 to 62. So without further ado, I will begin my lesson. Hello, class. How are you today? Very good. Today we're going to begin by discussing one of my favorite topics, which is space. Does anyone know what space is? Well, space, we're here on Earth. Above us are the clouds where the rain comes from. So Earth and then clouds, and then above that, that's space. So up where you see the stars and the moon and the sun, that's space. And that's what we're going to start with today. So how many of you remember seeing Korea's space shuttle launch? You do? And how did that make you feel? Proud? Yes, excellent. So, listen, class. Please turn to page 59 in your book and follow along with the dialogue between Minsu and Bora about the space shuttle launch. So here we have the book, and Minsu and Bora in the cafeteria. So let's find out what Minsu and Bora are saying. Bora, did you watch the launch on TV yesterday? Korea's first space shuttle launch? I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I felt so proud to be Korean. Me too. I was nervous when the countdown began. I wonder what it would be like to live in space. I watched a TV documentary about space life. It said that astronauts float around. How would they sleep? Won't they bump into the walls while they're sleeping? They sleep in sleeping bags tied to the wall. Oh, what a fun life. That's so interesting. So, class, after listening to Minsu and Bora's conversation, please help me answer these questions. What are Minsu and Bora talking about? Yes, they are talking about the space shuttle launch. What else are they talking about? Yes, they're also talking about space life. How did Minsu feel about the launch? Yes, Minsu felt very proud. Proud to be Korean, just like you. And when was Bora nervous? Bora was nervous during the countdown. The countdown is when the shuttle's about to take off and you count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then liftoff. Liftoff's what we say in the United States when the shuttle takes off. And and what TV documentary did Bora watch? Yes, watch a documentary about space life. And how do the astronauts sleep in space according to the documentary? In sleeping bags. Yes, that is correct. But that's not all. What was special about those sleeping bags? You? Yes, they're tied to a wall. And they're tied to a wall because they're floating around. And if they're floating around, it means they could be bumping into one another or into the walls or into the equipment. So they need to be tied to a wall where it's tight and they're held to the wall. And that way they're not going to float around. They can sleep safely. And how does Minsu feel about life in space? Yes, fun. Life would be fun and also interesting. Very good, class. Let's move on to the next activity. Please turn the page and then look at activity B. Here we have a picture of the solar system. So we're going to start with, well, what is the name of this planet? What is the name of the planet I'm pointing to in the book? It's in the example. That's right, it's Earth. And how far is Earth from the Sun? That's right, the example says it's the third planet. Third means it's 3 away. So we have the Sun, and then we have Mercury, Venus, and Earth. So 1, 2, 3, first, second, third. So third is 3. And when you get out here, it keeps going to 4 is 4th, 5 is 5th, 6 is 6th, 7 is 7th, and 8 is 8th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and 8th. This is how you count out in English when you're separating and comparing it to something. So please get with your partner and look at the pictures and take turns asking one another about the planets. All right, class, very good. Listen. Next, we have a chart in section C, and in the chart is information about the planets. The planets are Earth, Mars, and Saturn, and we have some information about their diameter, their distance from the Sun, and their average temperature. And if you don't know what diameter is, please look in your book. Also helpful, the book has provided some comparisons. We have big and small, far and near, hot and cold. And these are comparisons. Big and small are comparing size. So when something's big, it has more size, greater size. When something is small, it has less size. It's small. So small and big. And then we have, with distance, comparison is far and near. When something's right close to you, it's near. When something's far away, it has more distance. And then hot and cold. Hot and cold are temperature. Temperature, if it's hot, it's when the oven, when you're cooking. When it's summertime, it's hot. Oh, it's hot. And in the wintertime, it's cold. Or if you go in a freezer, it's cold. So please go through the example with your partner and compare the 3 planets using the information in the chart. Tell each other which planets are the biggest, which are the planets are the smallest, coldest, hottest, furthest away from the Sun. All right, very good, class. Would anyone like to share with me a few answers? So, Saturn. Is Saturn the biggest or the smallest planet? That's right, it's the biggest planet because it is 120,000 kilometers in diameter. That's really big. Earth is only 12,000. So a lot of Earths can fit inside Saturn because it's that big. And which planet is the hottest? Hottest planet. That's right, that'd be Earth. Of these planets, Earth is the hottest, at 15 degrees Celsius. It's much warmer than negative 63 or negative 170. These are very, very cold. I don't think you'd want to live there. All right, so the next section, we're going to do more pair work. So please add your own ideas about what you would like to do in space, and then practice the dialogue with your classmate. The example asks, what would you like to do if you could travel to space? And the book answered, I would grow vegetables. So the book likes to farm. And so what are some answers that you would invent for this? What would you like to do in space? Please write down your examples and then talk about them with your partner. When we're done, maybe I'll ask for a few. Very good, class. Would anyone like to share some of their answers? Yes, you can certainly walk on the moon. And what would you like to do? You'd like to float in space, just like those astronauts in the bags. I understand, that would be fun. All right, very good, class. Please listen. Next we have section E. This part I would like you to also do with your partner. Look at the chart, answer the questions as well as your partner's questions, write down their answers, and at the end we will discuss what you would like to do, and everyone will present. The example down here, the student in the book, I would like to go to Jupiter because it is the largest planet in our solar system. It's in between Mars and Saturn. I would go with my best friend Timmy and take a camcorder, a camera, a water bottle, and snacks. I would meet aliens who live on the planet. I would play with them and bring back an alien friend. So, Like the student here, I would like you to answer these questions, and then at the end, please present your answers like this in a paragraph, all in one story. Make a story for me about what you would like to do in space by answering these questions. All right? All right, please start. Very good, class. Your effort is wonderful. I'm very proud of your effort. All right, so before we end today, we're going to talk about some useful expressions. So in English, you might not just say, I very much like to do something. So in the example here, did you watch the launch on TV yesterday? I wouldn't have missed it for the world. So you could respond with yes. Yes is an assurance. It's a positive. It's an affirmation. But many times in English, people will want to respond with more. They're going to respond in what's called an idiom, or they're just going to give you more information. They want to be fun and play with the language a bit. And so in the book, we have examples of how could I miss it? I wouldn't have missed it even if I was offered $1 million. So it's saying that I really want to do that. You couldn't do anything else that would make me not do this. So when you watched the launch on TV yesterday, that question, you could say yes, or you can say there's no way I would have missed it. They mean the same thing, but you're expressing a strong assurance when you use these phrases. And so when you hear someone speak English, do not be surprised if they talk in this way. They may not just respond with yes or no. They may give you a more complicated answer that means the same thing. Today, we're going to talk about pronunciation again. And today we're going to talk about homophones. Now, a homophone is a group of two or more words with the same sound but different spelling, often with that means different meaning. So listen to these homophones: blue and blue, die and die, here and here, hour and hour, made and made, steal and steal, two and two, wait and wait. Now, did you listen, class? The words, they sound the same. So if you're just listening to someone speak English, they may sound like they're saying something else. You have to use context. We've talked about context before, and using the other words to help you find out what the meaning is, even if it sounds the same. Because when you speak, it can be confusing if you're not using the words correctly. So listen and circle the words that are homophones in your book. Our home is only 1 hour away from here. So it's hour and hour. The first hour is possessive. It means all of ours, so our class. The second hour means an hour of time, so 60 minutes, how long class is right now. These are very different meanings, but they sound the same. It is too far to go on foot, so it's 2 and 2. She made the maid clean the entire kitchen. Maid and maid. He tried to steal at that steel factory. So in this case, does anyone know what the first steal means? You. Yes, steal means take without permission. So you're getting something that's not yours and claiming it, and it's not yours. And so it's without permission, without allowance. The second steal, does anyone know what that means? That one's a little more difficult, maybe. Yes, it's a kind of metal. So metal, like what your desk chair is made out of, or what you see maybe a knife or a spoon or a fork made of steel. It's made of metal. Another example we have is that everyone is sitting in rows. And in English, rows can mean rows, like you're sitting in, or rows can be a flower. And so when I say please sit in rows, I'm not asking you to sit in a flower. I'm asking you to sit in an orderly column. And so these things can be tricky. And English has a lot of these words. So be sure to listen and listen for the other words, because if it doesn't make sense and you know the word, it may have another meaning. It might mean you need to look it up or ask somebody. All right, very good, class. I'm very proud of your effort today. So please have a good day, and I hope to see you soon. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.